Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Reasonably Effective Podcast. I'm Ten Types, as I was joined by Uncommon Fossil.
Hello, glad to be here. Looking forward to talking some Pokemon.
Yep, and today we are talking about the new expansion coming out in January internationally, which is Ascended Heroes, which is being made up of two different things from Japan. Well, you could say it's more than two things. The first thing is going to be Mega Dream EX. This is a smaller set. This is currently out in Japan, so we have some tournament results for that. And then there's also the collection of 100 decks. The Start Deck 100 Battle Collection is the translation, which is it's 100 decks. Most of the cards aren't new, and we're only talking about new cards in this video as well. So yeah, I mean, we each made a top 10 list. We haven't really seen the other person's top 10 list, but yeah, we each made them, and yeah, I think we can just hop right in here. So I guess let's just take a look at the other person's, unless you have anything else to add before.
No, I think that's fine. So, yeah, I haven't really looked at yours, and you haven't really looked at mine. And I see you have an 11th an honorable mention. I didn't post an official
So
on.
I have two cards like grouped together.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
yeah,
Okay.
but okay, so let's start, I guess, at the top. I feel like the top one isn't debatable. You mentioned before the um, the video before I started recording here that Bosslers would be the best card in the set, and probably, but there's the new item Pokepad, which you wanna introduce that one?
Yeah, Pokepad, which really is tremendous. Item card: search your deck for Pokemon without a rule box. Put it in your hand, shuffle your deck. So it lets you obviously get any basic, stage one, stage two, non-rule box. So pretty much, obviously, rule box are kind of the big Pokemon that kind of define decks for the most part. But even there, you're using a number of non-rule box Pokemon. So there's going to be very few decks that aren't going to play this. And obviously, some decks will be playing a bunch. And obviously, non-rule box decks, which I think we both enjoy playing, you're going to really, it will be a big plus to those type of decks.
Yeah, I think so. I don't think it's necessarily going to be like all the time in literally every deck, but again, there are like use reasons it could be in essentially any deck. I think it's going to be on par with the current top item search cards, Buddy Boy Pop and Nestball and Ultra Ball, which are all very good cards. I think if someone said that they aren't, obviously they can't all be the best card in the game or anything like that, but they're all very, very good. I
Yeah.
think this will join those and be like in consideration. There's only so many spots you're spending on Pokemon Search. I'm not playing four of all of them, but yeah, I think it's on that caliber. I don't think it's necessarily above or below that, but I think it's right on that level. Obviously, kind of depends on your deck.
Yeah, no, it's not going to be the most played. It might it'll reduce the Buddy Buddy Poffin particularly, I would think, since that's really
Yeah.
not, it doesn't say non-rule box, I don't think, but because of the HP limitation, it is. But this can get evolutions as well, so it'll be a little more versatile. So yeah, it's going to be common. You're going to probably need some nest balls or ultra balls for decks with obviously rule box Pokemon. So if you're playing a non-rule box deck, you're putting Pokeballs in, Pokepads in first, right? You're going to put in probably four of those before anything else in that case.
Yeah, I mean, Buddy Buddy Poffin is the most powerful in terms of like it gets two cards, right? So
Yes.
that's one where if like most of your Pokemon, I mean, Buddy Buddy Poffin's a very powerful card, right?
Yeah.
It's I don't know if I called it build around, but there are some decks that make amazing use out of it, where like that's gonna be the first card you're adding into the deck, or one like maybe the first Pokemon search option. But yeah, I mean, we're splitting hairs at this point.
Right.
Ultimately, it is very, very good. There's not really any other reason or any other card that could possibly be at the top slot. I think this is very clearly it's like in a tier of its own in terms of cards from this set, as in it's like a legitimately S tier card. When we're not making a tier list here, but we'll kind of talk about like how good we think these cards are, right? And this would be like legitimately S tier in that like top tier of all the cards in the game. Then the next best card would be I don't even know if it would be A tier. I think it's debatable. Are you in agreement with that?
Yeah, because I mean, looking at our list, once we move below this, there's a lot of diversity. I mean, we pretty much have, for the most part, the same 10, not exactly, but where they fall jumps around a fair amount. So, because, and I think partly because obviously we have different opinions, but also it's not clear cut what is what, which means it's just not as good, right? There are a number of good cards, but this is by far the best card.
Yeah. Oh, I just remembered there's something I forgot to say about the set as well. So obviously, and I guess this plays into criteria some as well. But I judge these based on not that much stake in them immediately in standard, specifically with cards that are going to be rotating because these are coming out in January. Rotations in is it March or April? I'm not sure which it is. Do you know
Yeah,
which it is?
I no, I think it's late March. Um,
Okay.
Now like my number two card is good pre-rotation. Is not going to be so good post-rotation. I don't think so.
Yeah. Yeah. I was thinking
Um,
that.
I guess should we just jump into that card? Um, or
Yeah,
what
one
do you
more
want to
thing
do?
you just say there before that.
Go on.
So with the regulation marks, obviously that's how rotation works. These cards are not all the same regulation mark. The cards being printed in what is it? Mega Dream EX, they have I regulation mark. That's the regulation mark this year versus the J regulation mark on stuff like Pokepad, which are in those like 100 decks. So those are going to be rotating later, which is actually like a big deal, and that will be how it is done internationally. I'm not 100% sure if all these cards are actually going to be in this set. I assume like the good ones are because that's usually how it works, if not like all of these cards. But that being said, they will be rotating at different times, which is kind of weird. It doesn't really matter for now, but it will actually matter a lot in the future.
Yeah, I mean, especially right, especially something as powerful as Pokepad. Obviously, having that for an extra year is a big deal, especially as some of these other good Pokemon item search cards will rotate out. This will become even more important down the road.
Yeah. But anyways, you want to talk about the Mega Charizard YEX here?
Yeah, Mega Charizard YEX, and I think there's another Mega Charizard YEX that's about to come out too, right? I think the exact same
There's
name.
Mega Charizard XEX
Okay,
out that was
okay.
in Phantasmal Flames.
All right, so Mega Charizard YEX, which is very good. It's 360 HP, stage two. It attack does 280 to any Pokemon, which is very good, right? It can hit the bench, so that puts it really in a league of its own, I think, for that flexibility, being able to hit the bench. Obviously, gives up three prizes, but nice and tanky there. But it takes three energy. That's the bad side. So, which normally would be like a killer, and you have it down at what, seventh, I think, which I get that.
Yeah.
But with obviously with the Charizard EX we have in format now, that powers it up. You uses all three energies, but you power it up, and you can wipe out whatever you want on the bench. So a very good card in that sense, right? 280 smack and whatever Pokemon you want is a very very nice attack.
Yeah. You do lose the energy, which
Yes,
is like, I mean, you can, someone mentioned this, you can like ignition energy and then you can just discard the ignition energy. But if you don't, you lose all of the energy,
right.
which then it's like all your energy, like on the board, probably Charizard DX stacks play low energy counts. Um, and so you'll like commit a lot of energy. You will already played a Charizard DX, which accelerates energy. You're just gonna end up in a spot where you like don't really have any energy there, and then like what do you do from there? This is also why I don't really like the current Mega Charizard, which also discards energy, but there's a little more flexibility with it. But the payoff is also, I'd say, a little bit worse. But I feel like this card's all right in Mega or in regular Charizard EX. The Charizard EX is rotating pretty soon after this comes out, so I'm putting Z relatively low stock in it. I feel like we actually feel pretty similarly about this card. I mean, do you think this card's how good do you think it is in Charizard? I mean, the payoff is pretty good, but you do lose all your energy on board and like from the Charizard you played.
Right. So within Charizard, I think, and it's not this is not the main attacker, the Mega Charizard. Why you're putting one? I think I'd be putting one copy in every Charizard deck. I think I probably want to save it for late game when possible. Just because unless I know I can get another Charizard evolve the next turn, and I know I can have the energies in the deck, you're going to run that in that situation. You can't attack potentially, which can be devastating. But like I said, but being able to close something out, and then you can close a game out without needing boss. I think that's kind of what it does, right? It's you essentially using boss, getting the effect of boss because you hit the bench without needing to use your supporter for it. So that's I think so. I think it's going to be really good. You know, 20 a quarter of the time in the Charizard deck for one attack.
Yeah, I think I get that. I mean, again, you do need you need to be able to both accelerate which requires playing another Charizard as well as having an open Charizard. So that's like two extra Charizard or Charmander slash
Yeah.
Charmeleon sitting around like in the late game, which seems like possible, but not like super like. I mean, it's a good chunk of resources you're committing to getting that set up, or like bench space, because you also need your Charizard for attacking, and then you probably want some other stuff, but it is like kind of doable. I feel like the card's like all right. Um,
Yeah.
i-
I mean,
it's niche though.
the real plus is obviously, look, without Charizard, the current Charizard, it's not good because we can't power it up, basically.
I mean, there are ways like you can accelerate fire energies with like Embor or with, like I was to say with Ignition. That doesn't really count. That helps with the discarding aspect, but that doesn't get the energy on.
Right.
Um, I mean, there are like kind of ways to do it. They're not very good.
Y-
But like the effect is pretty good.
Well,
And like I would not be shocked if we see energy acceleration for this in the future.
right. I mean, and obviously, we're not here talking expanded, but obviously expanded, like with the stadium and such that gets energies on, could have some value. Although three prizes, you got to watch out weakening yourself. But I
Yeah,
don't.
and being a stage two, I can't really think of. I was gonna say I can't think of stage twos that see play and expand. I can't see like stage
That's true.
twos that see play and expanded that are like normal stage twos. Stage twos are very good and expanded. I think every deck plays a stage two. That's good. But
Yeah,
yeah.
but I mean, is there anything else that does 280 to the bench though? That in
Um,
standard, anything
I'm trying
close
to
to that
think.
really?
I mean, I'm sure there's some Pokemon that like do damage like based on some multiplier to the bench. Um, I mean, like, I feel like I find it interesting that you have the because as I said, mine's not really too focused on pre-rotation. It takes into account, which you could say then that seven's actually high for this card, but honestly, I feel like a lot of the cards are kind of meh. But then why don't you have Spectre on here? Like, I feel like Spectre is like good.
Spec.
The one that does the 120 snipe or the what's it, is it? It's 12 damage counters, right?
Wait,
What is it?
which one's that? Is that from the 100 start
No,
decks?
that's from
All right,
the
I got.
Mega Dream. It's the one that does for three does 12 snipe or sorry 12 damage counter snipe. And it's played in Gardevoir in Japan right now. Like I feel like it's also kind of meh. I mean, I think it's worse than Charizard is Mega Charizard. Y EX is in Charizard. But I feel
Okay.
like it's like okay.
Yeah, Spectre, which neither of us have on our list. So by
Yeah.
our top 10, which is a basic. I mean, a single basic it is, but it's also a single prize Pokemon. Was what I meant to say. 3 energies, and you put 12 damage counters on one of your opponent's Pokemon. So less, but obviously doing 12 is nice. The reason I don't think is highly is just Gardevoir has good tools, right? It's already got the what is it, the screen,
Screen tail.
right,
Yeah.
and that hits the bench, right? It doesn't place the damage, it does the damage, but for the most part, that doesn't matter, and it does more damage. So I don't think Gardevoir just has so many pieces already. Charizard, this will become kind of the number two attacker potentially in Charizard decks. Obviously, the energies, which you've talked about, that's the real concern with this Mega Charizard Y.
Yeah, I mean, like Gardevoir is like a toolbox attacker deck, so having
Yeah,
being a second attacker in Charizard isn't like super meaningful, but it's somewhat meaningful. Anyways, I feel like we've talked about this card more or less enough.
yeah,
I mean, yeah, again, Spectre. I don't think Spectre is very good in Gardevoir. Like, I mean, you also brought up the point of that that you already have Snipe, right? So it does hit through Shaman, which is like meaningful and has more HP. You can heal it with Monkey Dory. So there are legitimate benefits, but they're a bit situational, in my opinion. But anyways, moving on to I think my number two card here,
yeah.
which will be Night Mine. Night Mine is, in my opinion, like very good. This card doesn't see that much play in Japan. It is out in Japan, but what it is, it's a stadium that says attacks used by each Terra Pokemon play, but both yours and your opponents because it's a stadium. Costs one colorless more, and if you look at the metagame, there's like a lot of good Terra Pokemon. I guess after rotation, it's gonna be like worse. But like I feel like I mean, well, little Dragapult's still gonna be good, right? So it's like really rough for Dragapult. Like people are playing
I've been playing a
Battle Gate.
Spath. I've been playing a Spathra lately. So,
Oh, but that accelerate damage, right?
no, is that the one that it
Wait,
takes
EX?
the attack? Yeah, the attack cost is one more, right?
Oh, are you saying you? Are
I've been
you
playing that
paired this?
late. No, I've been playing something with a similar thing that increase attack
Oh,
costs
yeah.
to all
Okay.
Pokemon. So
I thought you were saying that you didn't want your Spathra to be Night Mind. But no, that's not what you're saying.
no, I'm just saying
So yeah.
I think this type of effect is very good.
Yeah, it's good. And so Battle Cage is a card that people use as a counter to Dragapult.
Yeah.
This is a better counter to Dragapult than Battle Cage. They are a little bit different. In Battle Cage can be used for more things. It counters different aspects of Dragapult, kind of. But Night Mine is very disrupted for Dragapult. They could bump it, of course, but again, that's true with Battle Cage. And yeah, it's good against other things. There's Charizard. There's Sarilage. It's amazing against Sarilage. I think Sarilage is where it's going to be at its best. It kind of depends how the deck adapts, but right now it just obliterates Sarilage. So yeah, I mean, I feel like it's very good. There's a lot of Yoteras, and increasing attack cost, as you were saying, by one is pretty rough.
Yeah. So the question is, it's only for Terras. The Terras are not. Are any Terras rotating? By the way,
Charizard.
Charizard. Okay.
Are you
That
saying many or any?
many so
Um,
Charizard is, which is obviously one of the good
yeah,
ones.
yeah,
Obviously some Terras are rotating, and then also as and there I guess there are some new Terras being printed, which I was surprised to see when we look at these cards.
yeah. The one almost made it in for me. As I said before, I don't think I said it since we started recording, but I feel like this one was hard to make. Um, like for me, my maybe 5 or 6 through 10 slots are like kind of meh. I feel like my top four are like pretty good, but I feel less confident on the other things.
Yeah. Well, this is going to be a special set, right? A special set internationally too, right?
Yes.
It's not going to be the first main. It's not going to be the main set, the first main set of the year.
Yeah.
So as a special set, they're usually not as powerful. So the reason I have it down at what 7 on mine. So we each kind of
Yeah.
flipped our twos and sevens. Um, it, the Terras are important. There's some very good ones, but there are more and more non-Terra Pokemon being printed at a much faster pace. So the Night Mine, the place for Night Mine is diminishing.
Yeah. Oh, wait, sorry. So with your tier list, were you, or not your tier list, your like top 10 ranking, were you ranking them based on now, or just taking into account now more than me, but still into the future as well?
Into but Yeah, both. I mean, definitely into the future as well, but not doing it in a vacuum. So
Yeah. I feel like Charizard EX or Charizard, what is it? Mega Charizard YEX in the future is like definitely not
yeah.
particularly good.
No, but
Um,
I mean, see, I think that one I definitely see a place to play, and it's going to do well in a
well, but
short
don't you
time
see that
frame.
for Nightmine? Like Dragapult's good, and so is
Yeah,
Charizard. Like if Charizard's good for Mega Charizard, then Charizard's also good for Nightmine or
yeah.
against.
I just look. Here's the thing. I've been playing a Spathra. I'm like Dragapult is just I crush it because I'm playing the Luciferi. I'm playing the Battle Cage. I have it's just so there's a lot of Dragapult hate. This is more I just it's a question of how many different good Terra decks are going to be out there, right?
Yeah. Well, right now there's quite a few, right? Or there's some. There's Terrabox. There's Flareon, which is kind of similar. Wait, let me
Yeah,
take a look. Am I forgetting something? Oops, I clicked Pocket. So you have Dragonpult, as I said, you have Charizard, you have more Charizard. You got Cereal, as I said. You got there's Raging Bull, there's Ogerpon, right? There's Terrabox, there's Flareon, there's also Joltikbox. Yeah, things like that. Then you get like into weaker stuff like Headdragon EX and Greninja EX. But yeah, there's some like pretty good ones. I think the only one rotating of those is Charizard EX. Yeah,
uh,
I don't remember everything I said, but Charizard EX is rotating, and the rest I think aren't for the most part. So like yeah, this will be pretty relevant post rotation. I don't know how many more tears are gonna be printed. There are two in this set. There's some Rhydon EX to Crydon EX, which are like kind of meh. Um, but we might get more in the future, but I'm not confident on that.
yeah. Look, compared to Nightmine, I mean, compared to the Charizard, the Nightmine will be more important longer. You know,
Yeah,
I just again, I just we kind of flipped on that. We obviously flipped those two.
yeah,
And maybe I'm inconsistent on it. Some of the other cards that we'll get to shortly, I think are going to be they're going to be more balanced. They're not as good at their best, but they're going to probably stay meaningful longer. If if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess. I'm not sure. I'm looking at yours and I'm not sure. I might know which ones you're talking about. But yeah, and anyways, I think that's about it for Night Mine. I mean, it's like good, right? The use case is
Yeah.
pretty clear. It is exactly what it says it does. But exactly how good this will be, we'll see. As I said, I think it's going to be very good. But again, look at tournament results. It's been kind of meh. But I guess we should look at your number three, which is Enzekrom. You want to introduce that? I had it at 4.
Yeah, so very similar, three and four. So it's obviously an ends Pokemon, so goes in the ends deck, which is it's the ends. What's the main Zoroark,
Zoroark. Yeah.
which has a tremendous ability to discard one, draw two, and it copies of attack of any ends Pokemon that you have in play. So very nice there, and this has two good attacks. So that I think this it does the one attack does 4 energy for 250. Which is fire, lightning, colorless, which isn't good to power up, but with the ends, the ends
Zoroark.
Sorry, yeah, it just the two darkness, which is one of the special energy as well. So that's easy to power up there. Does 250, can't
Sorry,
attack.
what about special energy?
The ends special energy, right? Provides the two
Or that
darkness.
no ends PPO. You're thinking of the Team
Oh,
Rocket
I'm
Sword.
thinking about the other one. Yeah. So you got to get powered up, but we have ways to do that. Now it doesn't
Or like
attack the next turn, but it does 250, and I think that's more than any other ends attackers. I believe when I was checking things out.
Yeah, I
Correct.
think Eds Klinkline can do more.
It's conditional though, right? To do that.
Yeah, it's a triple coin flip, and it's a stage 2. Oh no, yeah, it does. It does. It can do 360 if you flip 3 heads out of 3. That card's really bad. I was just I
You,
know
you,
I mean
you
I know that
just
card because you need it for the supporter, which I see neither of us have included because it's bad. But
oh yeah.
yeah,
So it's a good attacker, and also in the ends deck also has the shred attacker. So which I think is important as well. Being able to hit through does 70. So it one shots the
Mimikyu. Is that what you're
Mimikyu,
gonna say?
right? So which
Yeah.
is good. Having that also the shred attack, I think it has value too. So it's just a nice addition to an ends deck, which is I think it's a pretty solid deck. I don't see it as a deck that gets a ton of play, but because of the ability is very good, and then having some attacking options, or even a deck that's not an ends based deck, but you have something with and then you can if an ends engine, and then you just like chuck in a little bit one or two attackers. It's a basic. It can go in that type of deck as well.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it ends is like fine. I'd say I'm a little lower on it than most people, but not like a lot. I feel like it's all right. It's not in that top tier. It's not a I'd say true top 10. I mean, like, I guess it is top 10, but it doesn't feel amazing. But it feels all right. It's an all right deck. So yeah, I mean, the Ends Zekrom is a nice addition to it, though. Definitely, doing 80 more than the Ends Reshiram's attack there. The second one. The first one could theoretically do more as well, but that's situational, right? So yeah, this is good. This Yeah, not too much to say here. It's pretty good. Then I guess I'll talk about my number 3 card here, which you didn't have on your list at all. This one at first I kind of overlooked, but then I like looked at it more and I was like, I feel like this card's pretty good. This is the Mega Audino EX. This one here with this first attack here, one colorless Kaleido Waltz. This is a 3 prize basic 270 HP and colorless, but for one colorless you flip 3 coins for each head, search your deck for 2 basic energy cards, and attach them to your Pokemon in any way you like, then shuffle your deck. And then you have Ear Force for 3 colorless. It does 80 more for each energy attached to your points active. Yeah, the second attack's like less impressive, but Icon Fossil, what are your thoughts on this card and reactions to my card on the
Well,
list here?
I'm shocked honestly because I guess you're putting it here for the first attack, which
Yeah, it's like good.
well, first it's a coin flip, right? So you might
Yeah,
so potentially you're going to average what 3 energies you're going to accelerate.
yeah.
And you search your deck and you can put them how you want. That's good, but you really hate these attacks that
Oh, I do. Yeah, I do.
accelerate
Don't like them.
energies, right? Like you talk about
They're like
Joltik
meh.
and how it's garbage, and
No,
it's
I
like
think Joltik isn't a terrible. I think Joltik is a good card. I think it's not enough energy for your deck to rely on all that as like the only energy source for the entire game. But yeah.
but the thing is, so this is a 3 prize Pokemon, so you're attacking with it, and you better hope it does. They can't one shot at the next turn because unless you're doing something amazing, you can't. You don't. You're not happy with Joltik that accelerates too, but it's a single prize now. In terms of energies to prizes ratio, I think this is going to be worse than Joltik, right?
Yeah,
Most
I guess,
likely.
but I know. I mean, I just look at okay. So this might be me being just a hater. So the Mega Absol box stack essentially does this, right? You have like you might have a three parts. Ideally, you don't, but I feel like a lot of times you do. And then you TM Turbo Energize, and TM Turbo Energize is also rotating. So if you want to TM Turbo Energize, this is the best way to do it. Wait, TM Turbo Energize is rotating, right? Yeah.
I think so.
Um, so yeah, that card's rotating. You got Mega Audino. It's not objectively better because well, one, it's on a three prizer, right? It is like I mean it's not tanky for a three prizer, but it is like tanky for a Pokemon. And then if you just penny it out, that's like fine. That is like some commitment there, but I think that's doable. But also it's like accelerating. It could be accelerating more. If you get two heads, then that's like pretty nice. If you get one, that's like fine. That's still pretty good. And then if you get zero, that's really bad. I'm not gonna lie, zero is pretty bad. But that's like not gonna happen that much. And if you're playing the Absol deck, you're already playing coin flips. I feel like if people don't play this in the Absol deck, it's because the deck's bad. I just want to say the deck's bad. The deck's actually not bad, but it's not like Mega Absol isn't like I know some people are like Mega Absol. This card's crazy that you get to like discard a card of your choice from your opponent's Pokemon. But like there are lots of other cards. I guess they've just like ignored them and they see like a top player playing them and like oh this is good. But like no, it's the same card it was before and after. Anyways, rant over. I feel like it accelerates a good amount of energy there. Um, 3 on average is pretty good. It's low commitment. If your opponent does one shot it, it's bad. But I don't think they'll one shot it all that often. Or if they like have to really push and overextend, and then you can punish them for it, that's also good. The second attack's like all right, doing big damage to I don't know, something. It doesn't do big damage that often, but it'll be like, meh, it's an okay option to have. I do like Mega Kangaskhan Kanyex attack more. Well, I don't that is like that's a coin flip, but in terms of damage, it will be doing more most of the time. I don't actually expect to play this card, but I do think it is. I feel like it's decent. Well, I don't want to play this card,
All
but
right.
it's not like that because it's bad, but because I just don't like the coin flip element of it. But it's not like the most swingy coin flip card either.
Well, you're flipping three, so you're gonna usually hit. You're gonna get one or two most of the time. That's the good. So
Yeah.
it's you're gonna be very unlucky to not get any. So that's the good thing. Part of it's gonna be, and obviously you have to go second because you want to do this on your first turn. I assume so.
Yeah.
Um, which is so you get to play your supporter, but then your opponent has had two turns, so they might knock you out. So and as there's more megas in the game, how to what extent are your opponents giving you the one shot? That's not going to be the problem. Now, as you're talking about it, I do want to play it, but I'm going to play it and expand it with my Blissey V deck because you just want to
Uh-huh.
get energies, and I can penny that a play, and life is good. It just kind of fits into that deck of that uh, big basic Pokemon that does okayish damage that I love to play that you make fun of me for. So it goes in that deck, right? That's kind of
Yeah.
it's in that realm, which you don't like that kind of thing.
No, I mean I don't really like this card,
Okay.
but I think it's good. I mean I think it's exactly or it's essentially exactly the same as Team Turbo Energize within um Absol Box. It's like a little different. Like it's not literally the exact same, but it's very similar. It's like accelerates 7/8 of the time, that much energy or more. It's one energy, one colorless on a basic. It is a three prizer. A lot of Pokemon are three prizers. Theoretically, you don't want to be attacked with a three prizer, but you very well may be. So it's yeah. I mean, it's. I think it's decent. I mean, honestly, I think the rest of this is like relatively weak, but I do think this is definitely a good card. In terms of like it accelerates energy at a decent level, and we do see these attacks in the game right now.
All right. I don't think it's going to see a lot of play. So that's kind of my thought on it. So I think some of the other cards are going to see more play than the Mega. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's
Oh, I guess there's one card that none of us have on the list that will see more play, which is the Snow Run, which has like 70 HP. I do want to mention that. I also wanted to
oh
mention that earlier. It's like not interesting, but it has 70 HP and it's a Snow Run, and there's the good Frost Last. So, Yep. Figured I'd mention that there. But
Yeah, for sure. And what on that? Why don't we go to what my number four is, which is Mega Frost Lass? You good with
yeah,
that? So
yeah. I had that at also I had that at 6 there, so pretty close.
yeah, so not crazy different. So 4 versus 6. I put it higher. I'll read it off. So it's 310 HP stage one. So, obviously compared to the stage twos, you're going to get one shot some, but hopefully you're not getting one shot much. Two attacks. The one for three energy does 150. Opponents asleep. I don't love that one so much. Just three energies. I'm not. I don't love that, but sleep's not great, but it's not paralysis, but it's okay. But the rebellion, the first attack, does for one energy does 50 per the number of cards your opponent's hand. So potentially, it's doing solid damage most of the time,
Yeah.
is what I'd
One
say.
water energy specifically, which does hurt hurt it a lot. Because Fossil mostly plays as a support Pokemon, or the regular
Yeah.
one, I guess exclusively as a support Pokemon. It could be like a primary damage Pokemon, but anyways, it's a card that is generally played without water energy. So if you want to put this into the deck, you need to toss in Luminous or Water, which is kind of clunky, specifically for Marnies. You really don't want to be doing that. I mean, you don't really get much other value out of it. I guess you could attach it to Monkey Dory if you put Luminous, so it's not like useless, but it's pretty meh.
Yeah, look, I mean, obviously, Frostlass sees play the single prize with Monkey Dory, and obviously, it could be its own deck that's kind of a walling deck, or more like or something else with things. So within that, you have the option of probably I would think you're going to put one Mega Frostlass in. It's a lot less meaningful than the Charizard deck with the Mega Charizard Y, although this obviously sticks around longer with what it needs. And then you also
I will say, sorry, relating to
go ahead.
that point, that the Mega Charizard Y it adds like Snipe, but you were saying it's like boss. It's boss without the boss, which is like cool, but it's just doing like big damage on a big Pokemon, which is also what Charizard does. Charizard EX, but then Mega Frostlass is something if you specifically if you're playing a deck that's like Mega Frostlass or Frostlass without Marnies, because this is like similar-ish to Marnie, similar HP, similar, I guess, ish damage, and like attack cost. But if you're not doing that, if you're doing this in a deck that's like a Frostlass deck, then this is a very different thing. I guess it's kind of like Blood Mercy Luna EX, but like it's I'd say it's pretty different there.
Yeah. Look, the attack's pretty good though. For one
Yeah,
energy,
yeah.
uh, if you're playing Frostlass, the single prize, I think you're gonna think about this for sure. And also because we have Crispin in format, and that's I'm pretty sure not rotating, right?
Yeah.
Then having a second energy type, as long as your attackers even have just colorless energy, you can put some water and energy in with the Crispin's acceleration. So it kind of it gives you some benefit anyway, or it doesn't hurt you like it would without Crispin in format. So again, it's 4 versus 6. We both kind of see it in a similar vein. Some of it's how good these other cards are too. So it's again to me, it's not. I mean, I might try a Frostlass deck because it's fun, but I don't think that's going to go that well for me. We're giving up three prizes. I get knocked out twice at 310 HP. My opponent's going to probably one shot at least one, and I'm going to come up short, unfortunately. But it's a very fun attack. It's a single energy attack, so it's appealing, and it does have some value.
Yeah, yeah, I feel like it's fine. Then I guess we'll move on to the next card. This one I had at 5, you had at 6. This is Canary. It's a supporter. I actually like don't think it's super good. I'm not gonna lie. Or it's not my type of card, but it's a supporter that says you just go to cards from your hand and then you search for up to 4 Lightning Pokemon reveal and put them into your hand, then shuffle your deck. I do think this is going to be better without Miraidon EX in the format because Miraidon EX has a lot of overlap with it, but um, maybe I'm wrong about that. Maybe having those cards together is going to be better. But anyways, the idea here, you got Lightning Pokemon is meant to pair with I guess like the electric and the Mega Electros, which we'll talk about in just a second here. But yeah, I mean, if you're playing a Lightning deck, this is okay. It's not like amazing. I mean, I'm just not a fan of search supporters. I'm much more a fan of draw supporters like I almost said like Arvin, like Lily is our researcher. Like I don't know. When I say like those, I mean those. There's not really any other supporter that I'd group in. Maybe Carmen. I mean, there are other supporters I group in, but not other supporters on that level. But yeah, anyways, Canary is like all right. I think it's really good if there's a powerful support lightning Pokemon that's not Miraidon, because Miraidon is just this but more, so you don't need it. If you're using this, then you're
Yeah.
good in that front. But yeah, if there's like a draw or like good like engine piece. I mean, well, there is electric, right?
Right. That's
Electric's
what
a
I
good
was. Yeah.
support lightning Pokemon, um, which this works pretty well with. I'm not like the biggest electric fan. I mean, I guess I like it, but anyways, yeah, Canary is pretty all right here.
I mean, what it does better than Miraidon obviously gets you. Well, first it gets you 4 Pokemon instead of 2, but also it gets you evolution Pokemon. That's the big
Yeah,
part of it. So, obviously, if other it's type specific, but if you had one of these for every type, you'd see for some of them a lot of play, right? Depending on the Pokemon to go with. What are the
yeah,
lightning Pokemon to go with it? That's the question. Right now, it's the electric with its really good ability, so it gets you set up for that deck with that. So I think so. If you want to play a deck with electric even before Miraidon rotates, you're going to play this, and obviously after rotation with Miraidon being lost, if you have a deck that relies on Miraidon, it can survive with the Canary, right? So maybe
yeah,
not as well because obviously nest balling that basic into Miraidon into play, which here you're using up your supporter for turn, but it's still it's a very powerful card for what it does. Is what I'll say.
yeah. Yeah, I feel like or is it? I don't know. I mean, I feel like we've had yeah, I guess it is. We've had cards like Lance, which was Dragon type. That was in Silver Tempest. That was the last rotation there. That card was 3 Dragon type Pokemon, which is in terms of ignoring type, it's like a similar level to this card. That card was like all right, I think. Maybe I'm underselling it. I feel like Lance wasn't super good. Um, I saw something in Dragapult was pretty good. I think I saw something in Richie Draco, but I don't. Maybe I didn't really see play in Richie Draco as I'm looking through stuff. But in Dragapult, it's like it gets you like support cards that like draw you
Right.
stuff as well as like parts of your main like your main attacker. I mean, they're part of the same line, but it gets you those. So it's like it was decent there. I was never a huge fan of it, but again, I'm not a huge fan of these types of supporters like Dawn or Hilda or Rock Scouting or Jack or even Arvin, I guess. I mean, Arvin's good, but anyways, yeah, this is like this is decent, right? Like this idea is decent, but again, it's only good if you have a bunch of good Pokemon to pair it with, both supporting and attacking ones, which you do. I don't know if they're quite good enough at this point, though.
That's the question, right? What does it go with it? And it is one more than Lance, so obviously we'll talk about the Mega Electros too, because that's what's in the set that is being designed to pair with it, and obviously it will go with that because you have the electric we have in format that accelerates energy, so that's kind of that's the engine stage 1 piece. Then we have this Mega Electros stage 2. Obviously, is it the you don't have it on your list at all, so.
No, I don't think it's. I think it's. We'll talk about it in just a second here. But you want to talk about that right now?
Yeah, once we finish with Canary, so I think that's the type of deck that Canary wants, right? A Mega Electros deck is the type of thing that wants Canary, and that's where it's going to get value.
Yeah. Mhm.
Now it's not as good as Dragapult, obviously, but that's
Yes.
that I agree with that. So, but there's nothing else with Canary, right? That we need to say.
There's that Helio list, which is like funny, but we don't need to talk about that character. That's funny. I think you'll like that. I think I'll like it a little bit, but it's not very good.
Okay, so the Mega Electros, which I put it at 5, you don't have it at all. It's 2 attacks. It's 350 HP, stage 2, so 350. One of the questions is going to be how do these HP numbers 350, 360, 370? How vulnerable are they to being to one shot? That time will tell on that. It does 2 things. The first attack, as I think what I like better. And this is also one which fits in like the Mega Charizard, the Zekrom, the Mega Frostlass, which I have a deck and I'm putting one copy in. And I'm putting one copy of this into an electric deck because the ability, and then this is like probably a secondary attacker, I'm thinking. I don't think this is a primary attacker, but this Split Bomb hits the bench once again, which I've been talking about. I was singing the praises of that with the Charizard. It does for two lightning energies, does 60 to your opponent's bench Pokemon, so chance to finish things off on the bench. Which could be very meaningful, right? Potentially with these three prize Pokemon, you might be able to win the game by finishing off two three prize Pokemon with this attack there. And then the other does for three lightning energies. And again, we have the acceleration of electric, which is important. It does 190, and then you can discard two energies of this Pokemon. You don't have to, but if you do, your opponent's active Pokemon is paralyzed. It's weird. That's a weird attack. I think the first attack's the better attack, just because I look paralysis is tremendous. I mean, that's the most impactful special condition I would say that you can get on your opponent's Pokemon because it's very hard to get out of. But it's weird because usually you don't want to do a lot of damage because you don't want to knock them out. You're trying to get something stuck there while you're doing things. So it's a weird combination: 190 damage plus the paralysis. In some ways, less damage would almost make it better in this case, like less damage and less energy. It's a funny combination, but I think the first attack is very good in a deck that I'm already playing electric in.
I feel like it's all right. I mean, it's not like that much damage, and I mean, there are things to 60 HP that are sitting on the bench. Obviously, things are looking to get to 70 to avoid being one shot by Dragapult EX on the bench
Yeah.
without extra, stuff. But I feel like Mega Electros EX, it's like just not that good. Like, I mean, the first attack I mean, I like it, I guess, isn't it's cool, but it's not that much damage. It's just simply not that much damage. And you're like also losing your energy acceleration Pokemon when you play this because you're evolving it.
Yes.
And then it's also three prizer and it's like low HP for a three prize stage 2. I think it could be playable within a deck that's not that good. Which is not very impressive, right? Like
Yeah.
I don't think this card's terrible. Like it was on my considerations list, but it's I don't know. It doesn't like do that much that's particularly good.
Yeah, you could argue that I overrated this one. I think at one point I had it lower. I think I always had it on my top 10 though. I think it's a good option. It's a closer for potential closer for some games that you're playing electric in, right? Because like I said, I think part of it is these mega Pokemon. I think they're not going to be one shot a lot of the time, so you'll get some megas within 60. So you're going to be knocking out at least one mega, taking three, four, even maybe five, six prizes with this attack. So it's kind of a closer for decks, but it's not in a Mega Electros deck. It's a closer in some Lightning box decks, probably that's relying on electric.
Yeah, I could definitely see use cases for this. I don't think it's like terrible. I could have put it on my list, on the lower half. I think is where it would. I mean, even I could have seen it. I could have put it above Canary. I don't really love Canary, as I said. And you have it above. Oh, I feel like. I mean, I don't know. I don't like Canary, but I feel like you like this type of supporter, or maybe I just don't like it. And then I'm kind of surprised you have Canary
That
below it
low.
actually. But yeah,
Yeah, at one point
but
I think I had it high. I mean, honestly I could have put it number two in the list. To me,
yeah.
I think it's got that potential to me as well. And even at one point I think Night Mine as well, which I obviously I put it lower. You put it up there. I think that those all could have been like these trainers could have been the top cards to me easily.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like, there's a lot of like kind of meh cards in the set. They're like meh as in not meh as in terrible or as in super good. They're meh. But yeah, I think that's it for Mega Electros EX
Yeah.
here. We'll move on to what's next. Okay, so number 8 here actually. Which I guess we'll talk about Light Ball. You want to talk about that one? Another lightning type card, or not another lightning type adjacent card.
Right, and you don't have this one either. And this was a real tricky one where to put. So it's a tool card. The Pikachu EX this tool is attached to does 50 more damage to your opponent's active Pokemon EX. So this is very niche, right? It's
Yeah.
only on Pikachu, but there happens to be a very good Pikachu in format, right?
Yeah, there happens to be a lot of Pikachu EXs in format actually.
It does. So it opens things up for some of these other ones as well. And obviously, in its EXs, it's not just Terras. So most of the time, your opponent has an EX opposite you, right? So
Yeah, but it needs to be an EX with because you do 300, so it needs to be an EX within that 310 to 3. I mean, okay, you could also pair it with like Gravity Mine or whatever, or no, what Gravity Mountain, or something like that. But it needs to be within a very specific range. Which you look at like Dragapult EX, Gardevoir EX, Charizard EX. They're all in that. Like every stage two is essentially in that range, or every stage two EX. So it has like use cases, but it is still like I don't know. I feel like it's kind of a little too situational slash hard to get going. I was gonna say I don't know what deck you'd play this in. Obviously, I do. It's a deck playing Pikachu EX, either Terra Box or Joltik Box. I feel like I guess yeah, Joltik Box you'll be able to find this with Arven. I mean, again, Arven will rotate, so
yeah.
that's kind of bad for it. I guess it's not as specific as it like seems, but I still feel like it's a little too specific.
Oh yeah, I mean, look, it's very specific. I think the Pikachu EX is very good though. I don't play it a lot. You haven't played it a lot, I don't think either. But it does 300 on a basic Pokemon. That's great. And then if it's knocked out, it goes to 10 instead, right? It had full HP, so very
Yeah.
nice. Obviously, the powering up and all is what you got to deal with, but and now we can get that extra. Now we can one shot those stage two Pokemon or those stage one Mega Pokemon with the Pikachu. So it makes it makes the Pikachu that much of a threat in a high HP environment.
Yeah, I mean, even in standard right now, you look at Pikachu X, you can use this is Gravity Mountain. There's also Kieran. I feel like there's that tool, the Ace Pack, which you could toss on if you wanted. But
Yeah.
there are ways to get a little extra damage there. But yeah, I mean, Light Ball is like a decent option. It's like good within Pikachu X. I was definitely considering it. I think it's looking at it post rotation, it's less exciting. I mean, it's just not that exciting. I'm not gonna lie. That's a big reason why I don't have it here. But it's definitely an all right card here. I don't think there's too much to break down though, other than what we said there.
Yeah. Look, if you're playing a Pikachu deck, you're gonna play this card, I think, right? And obviously,
Probably. I mean, I guess it depends on the metagame, but like, look at the metagame right now. There's a lot of decks where this is relevant. It's kind of weird because you're already doing a lot of damage. At first, when I saw this card, I was like, oh, this is just like overkill, but it's like not actually overkill because, I mean, again, look at the metagame, but still.
yeah.
Um,
So
So, anyways, I guess we'll talk about my number 8 card here, which is it's two. I kind of grouped them together, so I'm kind of cheating here. It's Lairs Kamala with the ability, once in your turn, if this is on your bench, you can attach an energy card from your hand to your active Larry's Pokemon, and
yeah.
then you have an attack, but it's not particularly good. Then you also have the other Pokemon here, Lairs to Dunsparce EX. So this says for 3 colorless, Work Rush, you do 80, you flip a coin for each energy attached to it, you do 80 for each heads. Again, this is energy, and Lairs Kamala accelerates, and it's energy, right? Where is it? Energy cards, not just basic energy cards. So you can accelerate, like, for example, Ignition Energy, which is, like, kind of cool. But it's not, like, absurdly good. We could play a bunch of special energies and, like, do some, I guess, wacky stuff with that. But for the most part, the idea is that you're doing you're doing decent damage with Lairs Dunsparce EX. You can accelerate a bunch of energy pretty easily. Also, to be honest, I really like this card in expanded. You can pair it with Thornton, and then you can accelerate special energies, and you can like Thornton it into like another Pokemon. Which seems like really funny. Like you can do this in expanded, and then you can accelerate a bunch of ignition energies turn one, and then you could Thornton it into like an EV to evolve the EV or like something, and then you can get this like evolution with a bunch of energy on it turn one, or you could also Thornton it into like there's lots of things. Thornton, if you don't know, it like swaps a basic in your discard with a basic in play, and it like keeps all the stuff attached and allows you to do some weird stuff. Obviously that's not standard, right? So
Yeah.
that doesn't count. I wish there's something like that. I don't think there's anything like that, but yeah, I mean it's cool. Like it does. It's like very silly, gimmicky, or it's like pretty silly and gimmicky. Not as silly and gimmicky as the stuff I said, but it is I think it's like a relatively decent like silly deck, in terms of the fact that you're going to be doing decent damage. I mean, you're averaging 40 for each energy. You can accelerate I mean, if you accelerate ignitions, you can accelerate 3 in 1 turn, or I'll just say 2 and then like 2 basics, and that's going to be that's going to be like one-shotting most things on average. So that's like pretty good. That's like a little, I don't know, maybe I'm like thinking this is better than it is. Also, it is not the Dunsparce. It is the Larry's the Dunsparce
Yeah.
EX, so it is evolved from Larry's Dunsparce, which is a little disappointing that you can't use it with the Dunsparce engine, but it still is. I think it's like decent. I mean, not amazing. As I said, I feel like the silly combos are really fun, but in terms of how good it actually is, I feel like it's okay.
All right. So the good and the bad. So first off, the Kamala is Lyris Kamala is it the ability is insanely great. I mean, this is one of the this ability is insane. I mean, you
Yeah,
accelerate. It's on a basic single price Pokemon. You accelerate. You attach a basic an energy, not just a basic, but any energy from your hand to one of your to your active Pokemon. That if it just said that without the Larry stuff, it would be this would be the number one card probably, right? Even above
yeah.
Pokepad. So
Yeah, I'm not sure if it would be above Pokemon.
it
Probably.
would be a debate anyway, right? But the problem is the Larry's Pokemon aren't very good, which is why you prove that by your discussion of Thornton and Expanded, right? Because because the ability is great, but these Larry's Pokemon aren't that good, and you picked I guess the best of the Larry's Pokemon in the
I
Larry's
mean, it's like all right.
to Dunsparce EX. But you've already said this that I believe in this podcast. And I know how you feel that way.
Oh,
You
yeah, I
hate
think.
these coin flip attacks, so now you're just
Oh, well, no, I think they're bad if they're for like top decks. In
okay.
these like more boring, but in these like silly Pokemon. I mean, you like cards like this, right?
Yeah, look, it's not bad. It's the Lyris is on sparse. If you're gonna play this, obviously you play both Pokemon. The Kamala is a basic, so you get like three of those onto the bench relatively easily, hopefully. Although it's 80 HP, right? So that's
It's 90. Yeah, no,
all
not
right.
by the way to health and sociable.
Yeah,
That's what you're
that's the
asking, right?
big point there. And you know, so you get a bunch of energies. Obviously, you have to get these energies into your hand. That part's potentially awkward, but you can, we can get basic energies into hand pretty easily. The special energies, that one's a little trickier. And then it's a stage one, so it's three energies, but because the energy acceleration, we're getting it powered up easily. So it's a very fun deck. I like this type of thing. I just don't think it's
Just like
all.
Lugia Archeops with Cinccino.
Yeah, but yeah, if it all goes for you, it's going to be, it's kind of a meme deck, right? Is what
Yeah,
they've given us here, which
yeah,
is
but I feel like it's like a decent meme deck. Yeah,
yeah. So, but that is the best of the Larry stuff, is what I'll say, right? There's none of the other Larry's cards are anything at all very good. So,
yeah. If we get Thorin reprinted, be cool.
well, you'd love
I like
that.
Thorin. I
You
like Thorin.
yes,
Like
yeah,
kind of, it's kind of bad. It's kind of good. It's all right. It's funny though. But yeah. Anyway, so I don't have too much more to say about that. So I guess let's talk about Team Rocket's Honchkrow. This is like another similar card, right? Let's be honest.
yeah. No, it's yeah. It's a set where there aren't great cards for the most part. There's the one really good card, and then a bunch of cards that have places. They have use cases, but they're not great. So Team Rocket's Honchkrow. It's got two attacks. One does 100 for three. That's on a stage one. That's not very good. But what it does is the Team Rocket's feathers for two colorless energies. You discard any number of supporters with Team Rockets in their name and does 60 per card discard that way. And we have the other Team Rockets attacker, right? That's the Porygon,
Porygon 2/Z. Yeah.
right? That does damage based upon the supporters in the discard pile. Is it 40 per? I don't
I don't
remember
think it's
now.
40. Is it 20 or 30? I think it's 20.
Oh, it might be. So,
Um, it's like not very good. Yeah, it's 20 for.
Yeah, but I like that deck. So, obviously you left it off, so you don't have the Team Rockets Honchkrow. So you do this, power it up. This does take the special energy, powers it up for one turn with one attachment there. So, in the Team Rockets supporters are pretty good. So while you want to discard them, they're also useful supporters to play. So it's not so that's also a good thing. You're not discard. So there's been certain attackers that you have to discard a supporter, but the supporter's not good at all. Whereas here they're solid supporters, I think. So it does potentially big damage, and it's setting up some on another attacker. The Porygon is, that's very much a meme deck, just like your Larry's deck is, right? So it's kind of you get the cycle. You attack early with the Honchkrow, and then you attack with the Porygons later on. So you have some fun with a single prize meme deck with this.
Yeah, I feel like it's definitely it's kind of fun. Um, I do like the Larrys a little more. I mean, I don't know. I like the Larry's Kamala more because you can play like special energies. Like you can play like spiky energy and maybe medical energy or something. I don't know. I like that aspect, but yeah, I mean, I think they're kind of similar. Single prize decks and realistically, Rocket's Hunch Crow that was pretty close to making the list. I feel like I mean, you can do legitimately big damage, and as you're
Yeah,
saying, the supporters are good. They are technically searchable off of Team Rocket's transceiver, or
y-
they are. When I say
right.
technically, they are, but they're not. It's not like you search them and get more into your hand. Just like another one, right? It's like another copy in terms of accessibility within the deck. But in terms of discarding them, it doesn't help you with the Rocket's Honchkrow. But yeah, I mean, I feel like it's pretty simple and straightforward. It's like it's all right here. And when you say you can attack with it with the energy, you can use both Ignition Energy and the Team Rocket's energy, which
Yeah.
is nice.
Yeah, so it's definitely it's at the lower end of my top 10, and I think that's I wouldn't put it near the upper half, but it's got a fun little use case. Is what it is.
Yeah. Moving on to my number 9 here. This one is also pretty fun and silly. This one is I would say these last 3/4 because you have the Hilarious to Done Spicy X kind of
Yeah,
tossed in there. These are cards that I like really enjoy. This one is Azumarill EX. Azumarill EX here is a Pokemon with the attack for 3 colors. It does 60, 80, or sorry, 60 and 40 more for each energy attached to it. Psychic energy. What am I saying? So then from there, you have the ability Bubble Bundle, which says as often as you like during your turn, you can move an energy from one of your Pokemon to this Pokemon. I wanted to see if there's some like weird, wacky combo you could do with this, but I don't think there is. But you can pair this with stuff like Zadu or Wondrous Patch, which accelerates to the bench. I'm trying to think
right.
if there's another way. Oh wait, you could pair this with the. I knew there was something cool you could do with this. You could pair it with, say it with me, Larry's Kamala. That's right. So you could use Larry's Kamala to
That's
accelerate to Larry's Kamala, but not the same one. And then you can do this to I'm trying to think this so you could you do this and then it allows you to get a bunch of psychic energy on your board and then you switch it into then you like retreat into the Azumarill EX and like get a bunch of energy on that. So yeah, that's the idea there. It's awesome. No, is it awesome? I don't know, but I feel like this card's really cool. It's kind. I mean, it's not like super powerful, honestly. It's like kind of weak. That's like the issue. Just raw damage wise, but it's really really fun.
well, yeah, you're right. The damage numbers are not good because if you have 5 energies, which is a bunch of energies to get on, now you're at 260, so you're still not getting to the number you want, right? So you're gonna
You're looking
need,
for like 7 energies. Um, for like
yeah,
one shot. I was gonna say a Dragon Ball, like you have Lilies for that, but for like a Charizard EX, regular Charizard, not Mega Charizard, which you need 8.
yeah. So I mean, it's fun. It's silly fun, but if you can get that many energies into play, you can do better things with it, right? That's what I'd say. The only thing I wish it could be other types. I wish I could pair this with my Fortress EX, right? Then I could have a deck that really does badly, but is a lot of fun
I
for
feel
me to
like if it
play.
was any type, like then it would actually be decent. You could pair it with
Yeah,
like Ethan Toho EX or something. Maybe
right.
this is also bad. I don't know, but I really want to do like some weird wacky stuff, and I feel like this is Uber EX is another card that does weird wacky stuff, and I feel like ultimately it's doing more weird wacky stuff than doing actual good stuff. Unfortunately, like even if you pull off the like weird stuff, you're still not doing that much damage as I said. But I think it's cool. I think it's all right.
Yeah, I guess the other thing is you can move it as you want from one of your other Pokemon. This one, if you have 2 Azumarill, you can move it between them too, right? So
Yeah.
the question is, can you find some way to exploit that, right? I don't
If
think that.
things going badly, you'll just move it back and forth between the two.
Yeah,
I
it's,
don't know the actual rules on that. Presumably, it shouldn't be allowed, but I actually don't know.
I think, yeah, I think like in tournament play, you have to be advancing. You can't just do things for the sake of doing things. I believe you have to be advancing the
Yeah,
game state. I believe
yeah.
with things. So
I'm advancing if I'm making my opponent progressively more annoyed at me.
exactly, I'm getting more and more thrown off where they should be. So
Yeah. But no, anyway, this card's like kind of mad. Maybe shouldn't be here, but I feel like it's kind of cool. But then I guess we'll talk about your last card here, the Mega Feraligatr EX, which I did not. I think this card is kind of bad. I'm not gonna lie.
and you're the big Feraligatr fan, so
I am,
I'm
yeah.
disappointed, right? This is another one that goes in your Feraligatr deck. I have a
It's
deck.
not. No, it's not good with Feraligatr.
Well,
It's not good.
So it's its own deck. All right. Well, that's all right. So it's a stage two, which isn't great. 370 HP though, so nice and tanky there. Um, and so it does for what two water wild colorless. It does 200 damage, and but if your opponent's active Pokemon has damage counter, it does 200 more. So it does 400 damage. So we now we can one shot every Pokemon in the game with this attacker, right? Which there's not many things that can get to this level of damage, right? Can do 400. That has to be
Yeah, I mean,
damage.
technically, like something could survive this, but
It,
it's
it,
hard.
plus, they have to be damaged already, so it takes the Pikachu its ability out of it. So we're doing at least 410 because they have to be damaged. So it's not that hard to get the damage on, right?
I guess how I feel like it's like
Well,
not
it's
super
not
easy either.
ideal. It's not ideal, but
There's no glaring Zigzagoon.
yeah, it's tricky. The Halucha hits the bench. It's
Yeah,
we got to do little shenanigans. We can't move damage counters around like we used to be able to, so it's a little concerned. I like my Uxie spread deck, but I don't think I'm putting this in that. So what do I do with it? That's the tricky part. But if I, I'm thinking, it's a lot of damage though. You got to give it that. That's what I'd say.
I'm sure some like, I got a comment. It's like, yeah, just use Monkey Dory. No, you can't just use Monkey Dory. It's like an extra energy. You also need an energy on your board. I mean, is it the best way to do it? Maybe, but it's like not. Or they're like use the single prize for Alligator and also Monkey Dory, which is another stage two, a basic with another energy. Like, so the reason this isn't good in regular for Alligator, is because regular for Alligator really like struggles with energies, and this is three, which is bad. So it is a high HP Pokemon, so it will buy you some time. But like, it is. I don't know. I feel like it's just not very good. I mean, I would have put the Emboar EX over this. The Emboar EX is like just some generic big, high HP, or like big damage attacker, right? And like this is just bad. I don't know. I mean, it's just. I feel like this card's like kind of boring, pretty bad. I don't know.
It's the question
Like
is,
I would have put Meganium EX above this as well. Definitely.
look, it's. I think you got your Ferragamo. Maybe you can put it in. You can put it in with Baxcalibur to power it up. That's rotating though, right? Baxcalibur.
Yeah, it is also rotating, but it's also like,
It's
I
another
mean,
state
that's gotta
too.
be worse than the Emboar thing, right? How much does Mega Emboar EX do? It does 320, but it doesn't require you to like move damage guys around. And it's also from the same evolution line as regular Emboar, which is the same as Excalibur. So, I mean, I guess it's technically worse. It's like attack and retreat, but like they're essentially the same. So, or they're different types, but yeah, I mean, I feel like this card's just so underwhelming. It's like Meganium, single prizer with Mega Meganium EX also seems better. I don't know. I feel like there's not really anything going for this card.
Well, look, you're not gonna power it up in one turn. I don't think. You just got to accept
Yeah.
that. You're gonna have to Crispin like twice, and because you also have to attack with another Pokemon to get the damage counters on, right? So
Yeah, or like do some other thing. Yeah.
you attack with Badoo,
Team
but
Rocket's Venture Bomb. Yeah, that works, I guess. But it's on a coin flip, so that's kind of sketchy.
you hit him with Badoo, right? That gets the
It's
it gets the
true.
damage counter on it, and then away you go, and then you take the knockout after that. So it's easy. So
Yeah.
yeah, look, it's my number 10 card. You can make the argument it's not very good. Um, but I don't know that there's another card that I would definitely has to go get slotted in instead. So that's not a very
Yeah.
good argument for it. I guess you've knocked it down pretty well. So
Yeah. I
it's
mean,
not much I
it's
can
not that
say.
it's not good, which it's not, but it's also that it's not like interesting either. I feel like for these like cards, they should at least be like fun, like Honchkrow or the Larry's or the Azumarill EX. Which again, it's not the most interesting card in its own, but with the weird combos, it gets cool. Anyways, my last card here is Dragonair. This one honestly is kind of interesting here.
Yeah.
Also, like another side, Mega Dragonite EX. I feel like Mega Dragonite EX is pretty bad. I feel like there's a lot of stage twos in this set that are megas that are just not very good. But anyways, Dragonair does evolve into Mega Dragonite EX, but it has the ability Evolution Guidance. I also like regularly say that these types of abilities are kind of bad, which I kind of agree with. But it says once during your turn. Well, I guess I do agree with because it's my own opinion. But it's once during your turn, you can search your deck for an evolution if it has an energy attached to it. If Dragonair has an energy attached to it, you can search for any evolution. So this is I mean, getting an evolution every turn, this is decent. We've seen a lot of these abilities on stage twos, and they're bad. This is on a stage one, right? So I feel like it's all right. It does require an energy, as Mikey Dory players would say. It's free, but No, it is a legitimate commitment there, but I feel like it's all right. It obviously helps out Mega Dragonite EX. You can also include that as like a package to be able to move around easier. You could even just play it with the single price Dragonite pre-rotation, which just gives free retreat on all your Pokemon. So I feel
Right.
like Dragonair is it's all right. I feel like it's like a mediocre support Pokemon. Maybe worse than mediocre, but that's still like better than a lot of these cards here.
Look, I was thinking of putting Mega Dragonite or these two Pokemon together. I think without Mega Dragonite, I'm not so excited because the problem with the Dragonair, the ability's okay. Although you need a basic and a stage one just to get some other evolution isn't great. Plus the bench space, so it's awkward. But the big problem beyond that is you have to attach an energy, which means I need to attack with what it evolves into to have value to me.
Yeah, I mean the Mega Dragonite EX. I mean, I'm thinking like theoretically, if you're doing, there's a Pokemon like Gengar, from Lost Origin, which obviously isn't standard, or like Beedrill from Vivid Voltage, or like some other stage two that you're not playing the basic of for whatever reason. Then this is interesting. Or even if you're playing a deck like a Dragapult, Dusknoir, and then you have, or there's actually pretty bad because you have your Drakeloak, which you just rather get in play because it's what you actually want in play, and it's like I'd say Drakeloak is going to be a bit better than this Dragonair anyways, but even ignoring that, it is your Pokemon you actually want to be using. So, this card is the idea is that you can be getting a bunch of evolutions off of this, and then you want to get like four or five. Again, it's like hard to see a use case where that's super good, but you need to have some like weird ability on a like an evolution, um, where this could be good, and I think there is a world where that could exist. Um, I think it often does, right? We often
Yeah.
see Pokemon that
Well,
are stage twos that can put into play directly. There might be some as standard. I don't know. But I expect to see some at some point, and this could be good with those.
yeah, look, I mean, here, because I was trying to consider with the Mega Dragonite EX, which is obviously what it's designed to go with. There was a single prize Dragonite, and there was actually an EX in the format too, I think, right now, but neither
Yeah,
of those are too great.
the single
Um,
prizer is okay. The two
yeah,
prizer is very bad.
yeah, it does 180 for two, and it gives free retreat. So to all your Pokemon, not bad. But the Mega Dragonite, you have 370 HP, no weakness. That's very nice, right? It does 330. That's a nice number to be hitting. It's got the ability that lets you switch your active with one of your bench Pokemon. So, not bad. It's three energies though: lightning, lightning, water. Sorry, and then you discard two. So that's going to be awkward. You can obviously once you're set up, you can crisp in each turn potentially. So I could have put the Dragonite like in my 10 spot. Maybe that's a better 10 spot for than I did. So, but I was thinking the Dragonair. To me, I think it needs the Dragonite as well to give the Dragonair enough value. Because plus Dragonair does not search for a basic Pokemon. So,
Yeah.
it's you already have to get the basic in play to make the use of the evolution. So I just don't think it's got enough value in and of itself, the Dragonair.
Yeah, I feel like it's a bit underwhelming. I mean, it is my number 10
Yeah.
Pokemon here. Generally, like bad support Pokemon just don't really see any play. I mean, let's be honest, bad Pokemon in general don't really see that much play, unless they're very silly. But yeah, I mean, I feel like they're. I don't know. I think there's kind of sort of something here. I don't know if it is. I don't think it's here yet. I don't know if it ever will be. But it's kind of interesting there. But anyways, I feel like. Are there any other honorable mentions you wanna say?
In the dragon, the thick scales potentially could be meaningful because there are good dragon Pokemon. It reduced 50 less damage from grass, fire, water, and lightning. So potentially that could have value there. And then there is the Enzor the ends right supporter Athena and Concordia that you get what I think you need all six Pokemon to play right, and then
Yeah.
you
Oh, there's more than six. People say all six. There are other ones, but yeah, you need six
and then you
different ones.
specific Pokemon, and then you take, and some of them aren't good Pokemon, which you wouldn't want to play otherwise. And
There's
then
two stage twos, two stage ones, and two basics.
it's a lot of work. And then you take three extra prizes. And we've talked about, you said you still probably don't win the game because unless you're knocking out a three prize Pokemon, you don't win. And you probably haven't taken any prizes, and your opponent's already taken a bunch of prizes, probably. But
Yeah.
that for silly fun, that's there. Anything else you want to mention?
I'm trying to think through. There's like some other cool cards there's definitely considering. There is, as I said, the Spectrier. There's also, there's a Rotom. There is the Snorunt, which I guess probably we'll see some of the most play from the set. Let me quickly scroll through the
Hang on
100
one second while you
cards.
look. I considered the Waitress too. Look at the top six.
Mhm.
Attach a basic energy to one of your Pokemon. If you play a deck with a good amount of energy in it, you'll hit off that enough to get some value out of that card.
Yeah, I was thinking about it. And I was like, yeah, this is just like a bad Crispin. Um,
Yeah,
This Widow Shield's kind of bad, but yeah. And then there's also, I'm trying to think if there's anything. Oh, there's the Erica stuff, and guess all right. There's also like a dual type basic, which is kind of fun. Dual type with an ability. But the other one, Erica's Pokemon, like is pretty
yeah,
good. It searches. It's a basic that searches for an Erica, so you can just like chain it together. It's like Cynthia's Gabite, but like a lot better. Because it's on the basic, but the other stuff is pretty bad. But yeah, I mean, ultimately, I feel like the things I'm most excited for, to be honest, it's probably the Larry's Kamala expanded, but or maybe Larry's with a zoom reel. I don't know. But there's some silly stuff. There's some good. I mean, legitimately, Pokepad is very good. It's better than most, like the best card we get in most sets. But
yeah.
for the most part, I'd say the set's kind of bad. But I'd also say that there is good stuff, and there's a lot of fun stuff as well.
Yeah, no, there's gonna be some cards to play, and we have that one important card in it. So, and again, it's a special set. It's not a main set. So, therefore, I think it makes it okay that the cards are weaker than average.
Yeah, we're gonna get a lot of reprints in as well, I think, but that's fine, I guess. I mean, I'm not someone who really buys cards that much, so reprints are obviously much more useful for those people, which are most people. I play, but if I play physically, I often proxy because it's a lot cheaper, and I switch decks a lot. But yeah, anyways, we hope you enjoyed the episode here today. Leave down below in the comment section any other ideas. We obviously went a little long, but we didn't cover everything, so there are ultimately going to be some cards that you might have wanted us to talk about that we didn't. So again, leave it down below in the comment section on YouTube. If you are not listening on YouTube, again, leave comments on YouTube. That's where we can see them. Unfortunately, we can't see them other places, which is annoying. But then you can listen to us on other platforms, like podcasting platforms there as well. But make sure you like, subscribe, hit the bell, or whatever there is on the platform you're listening. But we hope you enjoyed. And as always, we're excited to see you in the next episode.
Take care.